Did you read my newsletter?
Yeah, I saw it.
What do you think? Are we trying too hard to be different?
What do you mean hard to be different? Just with the newsletter or?
No, in general, it's like a perspective thing where I feel like we as a company need to like have some kind of voice, and then like most of the stuff we create is kind of generic and maybe a little bit on the corporate side. So then we go in the other direction and try some different things. I don't know.
Yeah. Hmm. I don't know. If I'm thinking about all the brands, I don't think there are a lot of brands that are very unique. Like any SaaS brands that are like really knocking it out of the park. I know I saw like, was it on LinkedIn where you see like the almost an outline of a logo and or like a part of a logo and you know exactly what kind of brand it is. Like it's easy with McDonald's or Coca-Cola or whatever.
Mm.
So can you figure it out with SaaS brands? If you did the same thing, would you like guess the logos of most SaaS brands? Probably not, because that means their marketing is not as great or they're not in your head all the time like those big brands. So it's not just about like, okay, what is the voice, but also everything around it. Like there's no jingle, there's nothing that like sticks with you forever. This is all this weird stuff that just like follows you around. Like you know the freaking Coca-Cola Christmas guy because at some point it was like all over the TV, right? And with SaaS brands, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like trying to remember the Basecamp logo. Like I know more or less the colors, but I could not draw the Basecamp logo right now, for example.
If you know like a SaaS brand's logo, they must be doing like a billion per year, in HubSpot or something.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's a good point. I think like we know the brands from the people or like the founders or like from Basecamp, we all know the founders. They're like they have hot takes, so they have their own kind of little bit unique way of doing things. I like that. We know like for example Ahrefs, we know Tim, and they lean into the memes about everything costing credits to breathe. So I like this kind of thing. And as a customer, I also like, yeah, I don't follow any brands. I don't care about brands. But
Yeah,
yeah.
so I guess for the smaller brands it's more about the people. So people will
Yeah.
know the people of the brand, not necessarily just the brand. And you associate the brand with the people and the other way.
Oh, this is like why like even big brands they get the celebrities, the celebrity endorsements. It's kind of a similar thing.
Hmm.
Maybe you don't care about like. Well, I'm not in the loop to give an example. I just realized. Like, what are some
I mean,
celebrity endorsements?
Nespresso had like Brad Pitt and George Clooney, I guess.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so like they invest like most of their money into marketing. So they got like the big boys to go on camera and slurp an espresso and pretend it's amazing coffee. But let's
Okay.
not kid ourselves. Doesn't really change much. Like it looks fancy, but it's all marketing. And I guess some SaaS brands do the same thing. Like they look very flashy on the outside, but then I mean, you can pretend that your brand is really nice, and then when people start trying it and it's not, then does it really help you? It's like the sales snake oil thing, where like
Oh
you're getting
yeah. Yeah.
people into the circle and hope they will stick around. But I think today you have so much choice, you can just go to a competitor and be happy.
There's a. I feel like there's a whole category of SaaS companies that like market more like B2C or like educational in that sort of a way where like you get people into the you get people to sign up and they sign up because they don't know of any other solutions. Like imagine in our kind of industry where you sign up because you don't know of any other solutions. Like there are other solutions even if it's I don't know, like Google Sheets or something. Um, but yeah, it's like that. It's hard to get people to like commit for the long term on a subscription. But if you sell the vision of, hey, you're gonna sign up, you're gonna like ClickFunnels a little bit, it feels like that, where you're gonna make all this money, and yeah, some people are successful on it, but also it's a lot of that prosumer or consumer kind of market.
Yeah, but I think some of these tools they go, as we talked about earlier, a little bit in the all-in-one tool category, which I think is the
Yeah.
worst kind of category because there's never going to be an end of features your customers want you to build, and then you will never have the complexity of each feature of the competitive tools. So imagine you have a page builder, you have some sort of CRM, you have some form of form builder. So all these little tools inside one big tool can never be as good as each individual tool. So you're always usually inferior a little bit to the competitors.
Yeah. You know where the value is in bundling is when the tools work together. Like for example, with our platform, when you purchase something, you get a form. So you can only fill that form if you purchase something. But to blend in a website builder with an email marketing thing, those are unrelated. You can easily add a form on any kind of website builder. It is like there's no benefit from linking these together. So yeah, I think there's still opportunities in bundling, but like it has to be where the benefits of having all this data work together are greater than the drawbacks of having a simpler solution.
Yeah, I still like our after sales aspect. Like you do whatever you want in front of SPP, all the sales, all the CRM stuff, calling people. As soon as they're ready to purchase, you pipe them to SPP and then handle the rest. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we've had people who want to do a little bit in front of SPP as well with like some sales, like track the leads and so on, put them in the pipeline. I mean, it makes sense, but then again, how complex can you make SPP? Where does it
Mm-hmm.
end?
It never ends. Yeah, you can build features for like it's one eternity, and then, oh man,
Yeah.
and you know what? It's like it makes it harder for new people to come in as well because like there are some tools where I land and they have all this stuff where I'm here for just one thing. And so everything else that they're throwing at me is making my setup harder. And now I have to look at 20 different UI menus, which I'm not going to use. And the worst part is, even if I don't use all of it, I kind of have the feeling that I'm paying for something I'm not using. You know?
They're saying that a lot. It's like, oh, can you give me a discount? I only need like two features. I was like, wow. It's not a la carte menu where you just put your features together and pay for it, unfortunately. So yeah, I get that they don't see the value if they don't use the full package.
The other problem with the all-in-one branding is all-in-one means different things to different people. Where we see some people expect all-in-one to include all the front-end stuff like the website, the marketing, the even SMS marketing, and some people expect the all-in-one to include the back-end stuff like projects, tasks, um, even like media stuff, approval, sanitation, so all of this. So it's never truly all in one. It's just ambiguous. If you say all in one, it's never all in one.
Yeah, and now I was looking at LinkedIn ads from like competitors, and there are a few who promote themselves as all in one. But it only makes sense when you like do the weird math where you like put random tools together so the number adds up exponentially. It's like you could pay $1,500 for like 500 tools, or you pay one for us. I was like, the math is not mathing on that one because they always pick the most expensive plans of the most expensive
Yeah.
tools, so it's complete nonsense. And then again, if you want to compete as another all-in-one tool, you would have to be cheaper. So if you're not cheaper, the math is also not working in your case. So that's why we're like brainstorming different aspects of how to do the LinkedIn ads. And I also asked Claude a bit and was like pushing hard for the social proof that we sold like or we helped sell 500 million in services for our clients. So that's a really good social proof because we've been in the market for such a long time that people trust us deliver the services. So this is something competitors cannot really compete with because they haven't been in the market for long. I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. What like once if you're a small agency, just starting out, just trying to get your first clients, you like try this tool, try this other tool. There's not really a barrier to switching, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Then once you get bigger, it's all of a sudden like all your data is there, like your business is there. Imagine you trust like a third party company with like your 7-figure business. Like we understand how that is like a really important decision. So that's why we focus now on the social proof, I think, for sure.
Yeah, it's also like why we're pushing so much for like case studies. We're doing case studies with lots of different agencies, different verticals from SEO to link building, PR, and so on. It's good to like have multiple case studies in different verticals so people don't see, okay, they just have like one good agency and that's probably it. But if it's like a pattern, then it looks way better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The other thing about it, back to the all-in-one stuff, the comparison tables with, okay, you would pay like this much for all these tools separately versus this much for everything combined, is the people who want like once you reach a certain stage, you want the best of everything. Like the it makes no sense to save like $100 per month on a tool when your payroll is like 500K or like at some point you just want the best tools, and it just doesn't work with a bunch of mediocre tools together.
And again, like sometimes we have people coming to us and they want to use SPP for a little edge case, or they have like some feature request that doesn't really work. And sometimes we try to accommodate it, maybe as a workaround, but sometimes it's just better to like use SPP with some other tool, even if you're already using it, and just keep them working together, do some nice automations in Make, and just keep using both of them. Like sometimes it's not worth forcing to use a certain part of SPP if it doesn't work for your workflow. Like you're just going to make it more complicated probably
Mm-hmm.
for your case.
I do believe that if we're talking about industry standard tools or stuff like that, then we are like that in the client portal space, I feel. But then, like, remember in the old days, we'd use like some other email instead of Gmail, and then we still have agencies signing up with like Zoho emails and stuff like that, which is fine, but like all our email handling is built and tested with like the popular tools. So if you go with some niche free or cheap tool, we have to all of a sudden start fixing bugs we didn't know that existed. So I don't know, like the pattern with our best customers is that they always do use the best, you know.
Yeah, I think we had issues with Outlook even at some point because like the forwarding was different, and most recently it was the Namecheap email hosting I think that we had also issues with because everyone has like some weird different protocol of how they're handling stuff.
Yeah.
So you're like, doesn't really matter, it's an inbox, so I'm just gonna add my domain to it and then it's just gonna work. Well, most of the time yes, but sometimes no.
Sometimes not. No, we cannot hate on Outlook. That's a industry standard choice as well. I feel,
Yeah, we
especially if you
tried
need like
Outlook.
documents.
We tried Outlook. I will not recommend it to anyone to get into that email setup. It took us forever. Even the engineer couldn't figure out why stuff wasn't working. So back to G Suite. Even Zoho is better. Like seriously, it's cheap, but at least it works. But figuring out Outlook, I don't know how people do it.
This is when you enter when a company enters its Microsoft Teams era, where it's
Yeah,
no longer Slack. It's a different kind of vibe. That's another thing about like about growing agencies and stuff like that is the reporting stuff, and I think like we gotta focus more on making our data available for export so that instead of just relying on the 10 reports that we have, you can query it with AI and ask any kind of like, give me insights, and it'll do that. But it needs the source data for it.
Yeah, I saw this in a lot of SaaS tools that like if they build some sort of AI feature now, it's usually to talk to your own data, which makes a lot of sense because now you have to use AI to pipe data into it to just ask it questions. So it would make more sense to just ask like your little AI helper in SPP, tell me what kind of invoices are overdue in the last 3 months. I mean, you can just go to a tab and do the filter, but some people just prefer this conversational problem solving.
Yeah, yeah. I'd say like the number one use case is still just for like a shitty help doc search, you know, and it's not the best. I actually tried this AI agent in AWS, and it's really good. Where if you get a permission error, and anybody who's worked with AWS knows how hard it is to do the permissions. So if you get a permission error, you just copy it into the chatbot, and it looks up your resources and says, okay, you need to add this permission to this role. So it gives you specific advice about the account, which is very helpful.
The other problem I see with this is we need permissions on people, or you make it only available to like certain people, because imagine you have a contractor querying all kinds of data they're not supposed to have access to.
Oh yeah, and the AI kind of permission guards you can easily bypass, as we know. It's like
Mm.
I saw on Twitter that if you ask in Hindi, you can get ChatGPT to generate any kind of like images you want that would normally be forbidden in English. So it's just
Interesting.
like a life hack like that.
Hmm.
So people figure out ways to trick the AIs so you can't really put anything sensitive in it.
Yeah,
Mm.
another thing I guess we were talking about is helping our customers build some sort of automations between different apps. So I still haven't looked into it, but I guess it would be cool if you could do it like with Zapier, where you have like the different flows already pre-built in the configuration thing, but maybe just also for Make, where it's just a nice one-click solution. Send all the SPP invoices to zero, and that's it. But something that's like a nice, easy setup for them. And then just have like a nice internal automations, I don't know, library based on certain tags, I guess, and then like accounting, reporting, and then we just put everything nicely together so they can install it in like one click.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like the AI is going to be a big help with building these automations as well, where you can say, I want this data to go there, and then you get precise instructions on what to do.
Yeah,
Whereas
I
before
used
you'd
like
have to like figure out is there a difference between webhooks or API, you know?
yeah, Zapier also has some kind of AI helper, and it doesn't just tell you what to do, it actually pre-fills the fields. So in the
Mm.
little building tool they have, you can tell it, I want to build this and that, and then it's just going to set up the zaps and the actions and everything. It works pretty well, actually.
I saw this in Bento too, the audience builder. I think you put in what you want. So let's say like people with this email, and it from that AI field, it pre-fills the other filter fields. So maybe it's just a more convenient way to build filters.
Hmm.
But the UI of all of this stuff is really nice because it's just a text field. You can ask it, um, and you don't have to build like conditional drop downs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, this would be super helpful for our rules just to stop. I don't know, actually, I mean, it would be helpful, but I don't see how you can easily explain what you want because the more fields you have, it's like how are you going to tell AI, okay, if they click this, then you have to hide this, and if they do this, then do that. So, like, just explaining it is not easy.
This is, I think, a pretty common meme about consulting where if you can get somebody to write down their question very clearly, then like 70% of the time they will have already figured out the answer themselves just by formulating the question. And just most of the time you don't know what to ask.
Yeah, also I think sometimes it doesn't make sense to like put AI in everything. The same how it doesn't make sense to automate literally everything. Like there's certain things that probably give you some sort of ROI, and other things are like, if you're not a 500 people agency, I'm sure some things can still be done manually.
Yeah, get a VA in the Philippines to be your AI.
Yeah.
See, those are the kind of roles I feel like will be impacted with AI agents and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's interesting for the country. It runs mostly on the VA outsourcing business, so I'm not sure what is going to happen. I hope everyone is like brushing up on their AI skills and they're just going to be AI assisted humans or something like that.
Oh, we got the merch. We got the new merch.
You want to spoiler the merch? Okay, too late. You spoiled it.
I already included it in the email newsletter.
Oh,
So,
true.
so yeah, instead of doing coffee mugs or something generic like that, or USB sticks, we decided to make toys for adults. Oh, that sounds wrong.
Now the episode has to be explicit. I mean, it is toys for adults. Let's be honest.
I don't know. I was looking up how to do like a kickflip with this thing, and that's like I don't know, 12-year-old kids explaining. So,
Okay, not bad. Did you
but
manage or not yet?
no, it's hard. Have to practice more.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. But it's good. We got like 500 of these from China. Very good experience. They this design we did with AI. It's a nice, colorful design. The factory created a few samples. I just saw the photos of the samples. Didn't even ship them. Turns out it's a good quality little thing.
Yeah, it's very interesting when you start sponsoring stuff and everyone's like, okay, you have to put something in the bag for the people, and we're like, oh yeah, totally forgot there are also goodies you have to include. So then you brainstorm, what can we put in there that is not ridiculously boring, doesn't inconvenience people who have to travel with it back home, because sometimes that's what happens. I've been to one of the conferences and there was a giant hoodie inside that I didn't manage to fit into my luggage, because if you have a tiny carry-on piece that's already full, where is it going to go? So lots of things to consider, actually. Also, how many hoodies can you have? Like seriously, like imagine going to conference, everyone gives you a hoodie. It's like going to end up with 50 hoodies in your lifetime.
Well, then you don't have to buy them ever. But I don't like that it's size dependent, so you have to figure out the sizing and stuff like that. But anyone who has kids knows that like when you travel somewhere for work, you gotta bring back stuff, presents. And so with this, we've got you covered. You get a nice little toy to bring your kids, and it's like packaged in a nice box, so it looks as if you bought it. And there you go.
All you have to do is show up in London, and then you're gonna get one of these.
We're sponsoring quite a few conferences this year, and going to a few as well. So I suspect we're gonna have to order more of these.
So the next one may be straight deliver to the recipient.
No, yeah, I don't want to be in the e-commerce business packaging boxes and stuff.
Yeah,
But
like
I don't know, this whole experience also like made me realize that yeah, e-commerce is hard for sure, but it's not impossible. If you want something made, you can do it. You go on Alibaba, do a RFP, request for quote, get like I don't know 10 bids from different factories, get it done. So it's all doable. Like you can just do it. And that's because, you know, earlier I was kind of thinking, oh, this, you need like contacts, you need to know the industry, and I'm sure you still need all of that to do it at a high level. But just to mess around with it, it's totally doable.
How many bids did you get, and how did you choose the winner?
I messaged like one random factory. I didn't even do the request for quote. I just like messaged some factories and asked about the process, and one of them replied really quickly and sent all kinds of pictures of different ones they've done, and it was a good price. So, in fact, the price was so good, I didn't want to, like even I was not motivated to find a lower cost supplier because this was already great.
Pretty cool. Yeah, other things we're doing, I guess, for brand awareness this year. I'm very active on LinkedIn, trying
Huh.
to get into a lot of listicles and just get brand mentions, which is not very easy. Like the struggle is often real just to get the brand mentioned anywhere. Like either you can do digital PR, which we were thinking about, but then it's difficult to find a nice angle. Or you try to do something like yourself, like come up with a nice campaign, like do like something completely based on numbers that don't exist yet for this year. And then you have to reach out to reporters, which is also very tricky to get them interested enough in your numbers to publish actually an article. But yeah, we have something in mind with like another SaaS Matthew from SEO gets. So we wanna like basically ask. He has a bunch of agency owners he knows. We can ask some agency owners and then do like a little case study of like 20, 30 agencies, like nothing massive because we want like more focus a focused group and then publish this with some the state of agencies in 2025, something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember something like that with what was it? One of those SaaS communities where they do a survey every year. Um, it's anonymous. You put in your numbers, and then if you participate in the survey, I think you get it earlier or you get more data.
Yeah,
Um,
they
yeah.
always do these industry reports exactly. I filled one out myself. It's actually pretty long, pretty comprehensive. It's not very, I think that's the problem. Like getting people to fill it out is the main issue because if you spend like
Hmm.
5 minutes on it and you don't get really anything in return, it's not that interesting because you're like clicking next, clicking next. And I was like, man, the bar is barely getting filled. This is going to take a while. Should I abandon? It's like, no, I already started. Now I have to just do it.
And then you fill in some BS quick answers that mean nothing.
I think that's the problem. Like towards the end, like the more you get towards the end, the more you're done with it. And then I'm not sure if the data is going to be great. Like they make it too long, too comprehensive just to fill the papers. So the way we want to do it is have less people, but people who would really talk to you even during a quick call, 10 minutes, and just ask them the questions, get the answers, and be done with it. But when you make people fill out a form, I think there's a high chance you're not going to get good data and you will not be able
Hmm.
to verify it anyway. So like anonymized data, like we can get people to just fill it out and nobody will know if they're agency owners. Let's be honest. Like how will you know? Anyone can fill
Yeah.
it out. What if people send the link to other people and then they compromise the entire survey? So it's pretty tricky.
Or worse, like it's like they put in their data and now somebody has all their data. It's not actually anonymous.
Exactly.
Uh, yeah, it's tough. I think like so much of like back in the day, you'd write an article, like an SEO article, and you need to quote some stuff. And I remember that there were like a few really common sources quoted for like this button converts better than this other button, like this color is better than this other color, like bullshit like that. And it's supposedly based on data, but you never know what kind of data it is, or it might as well have been a psyop. It's just somebody generating some random stuff just to
Mm.
create some kind of a study, like yeah.
Yeah, and today it's very like a lot of websites, they do this collective page of statistics where they just say, okay, 5 out of 10 people love ice cream. And I was like, no source, nothing. It's just a statement. And now you have AI scraping these pages, and then they put it in blog posts, or when I tell Claude, like, search the web for statistics, and then this is what they scrape, like the first 2 pages. So anyone who is like in the first 2 pages with some random statistic is going to show up. Then I have to ask like 5 times, find the source for it. It usually can't find the source because there's no source. So this makes it very hard when you actually have to look for proper data that's even relevant and pretty accurate. Like, let's not say even 2025, that's almost impossible, but at least the last 2 years. So you're spending like 10 minutes on finding a source for something so you can use it in your blog post. So it has some sort of nicely backed up data. It's completely insane that people just put up some statistics page and don't source anything, because usually they just copy pasted it from some other statistics page. So you go down the rabbit hole of 10 different statistics pages that just copy pasted each other.
I remember from university days, there are these websites like PubMed and stuff where it's a collection of all these like peer-reviewed studies, and you actually have to pay money to be a member to access the studies and get the data. But that's like different kind of data. You won't see data on like sales funnel click-through rates there.
Yeah. I think the best you can get is probably Statista, but it's extremely expensive. So they have some free stuff. And I think they have like this freemium model where you can see like the data a little bit. You can't download anything, and at some point they just block you. So I think they have some yearly subscription, and it's pretty expensive. And you get most of the data you would need even in marketing these days.
Yeah, I think there are companies like dedicated to just doing focus groups around like, okay, this public company, give me your perception of what they're doing. Is it to gauge like the market sentiment for some companies, and then you interview a bunch of people, put together a report, sell that report to Wall Street, I don't know, for big money. So that's like a whole industry. And then, is it realistic to expect that we as a small SaaS company are going to go to the same lengths to create like studies just to get backlinks and stuff? No way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty difficult. Like, best we can do is get some expert quotes because our partnership network is pretty big. So we know people, different kinds of people, and then we can just make them fill out a nice contact form that we have. And then you just get some input, put it in the blog post, and at least you have a credible and unique quote because it's never been used anywhere else. So you're not copy pasting a quote from a different source because then it exists already.
And then you also know where it's coming from. So if you want to be like that person, then you say, okay, that's great. I want that advice. Or you say, no, actually, I don't like where they're at. I'm going to look up different advice. You know, it's always good to see where this is coming from. Yeah, so a customer of ours asked to how they could take the UTM parameters from the URL and like store them in a profile, and we thought, man, that is a smart idea. And in fact, we've been doing the same with our own trials. So we just had a custom script doing it, where if you land on our website, we store the UTM parameters, and now that's part of the app. So anybody can see where the client first landed, which form they came from. Maybe they came from a contact form. Maybe they landed on the login page. So this, I don't know, it's a small little feature, but it can give people some insights for like no extra cost, no extra work.
Yeah, I think it's also very good to have for ads. If you're running any Google ads, LinkedIn ads, you put the UTM parameter in there, and then you know if the ad actually worked, if they landed on your order form or whatever you want them to redirect to.
Oh, I always have a little bit of problem with that. Like, don't send cold traffic to your order form. This is like, send them to your website or the landing page first. And then we do see people trying to use the order form as a website, like adding a bunch of social proof. That's good, actually. Like, we should have that natively. But like adding a whole bunch of stuff around order forms, and then it's no longer this distraction-free checkout environment. Now it's like this landing page.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to send people to the order form if you're doing retargeting. So you know these people are already pretty much convinced, and sure, send them to your order form. But yeah, I've seen some crazy order forms as well, where it's like a full-blown landing page where you don't even know what to click on and what to do next. So you're just gonna crash your conversion rate because you give people too much to click on and to choose from the services, and you have your full service catalog in one single order form. I hope these people
Yeah.
know you so well that they know what to buy because otherwise it's not going to happen.
Speaking of UTM parameters and traffic, the I remember in the old Google Analytics days there was something where you could send people to your website on to a landing page on your website with UTM tags, and then enable some kind of like a third party link tagging where if they go from your website to your shopping cart or to your client portal, it re-adds back the UTM parameters so you preserve the tracking, because normally if they land on like one domain and then go to another domain, those would be two different sessions. But with this enabled, it preserves the session so you can see where the customer actually came from. I don't know if that's still a thing that needs to be turned on
Yeah,
GA4.
I remember it was the problem because of the subdomain. So you had like people on like spp.co, but then it's if you send them to your subdomain where the client portal is, then it was an issue to track the visits between them. Maybe it's not a problem anymore. I really don't know.
Yeah, it was doable. You just had to enable this kind of setting. There was one setting for this, and then whitelist the domains where you want outgoing traffic to be tagged. I haven't, like, the thing with GA is, I don't know, I'm not looking at it enough. We have it, we're collecting the data, we check it every so often, but there's a lot of data in there. So I don't know, maybe they need the AI agent where we can ask, like, hey, just give me any kind of insights.
Yeah, now it's getting just more difficult to look at the data because you have the attribution problem. Like I read on LinkedIn how some AIs don't have a refer depending on the free pro plan or depending what you're asking. So a lot of the direct traffic or the traffic that is like without attribute is probably AI traffic. You just don't know because it sends a no refer. So people are landing on your website directly, but they're actually coming from AI. So that just makes everything even harder than it already is. Like even our direct traffic is pretty high compared to the rest. So now you don't know where they're coming from. They could have heard about SPP on a podcast. They could have read it on LinkedIn and just typed it in manually. They could have gotten some ChatGPT response. Nobody knows anymore.
And even if you ask them, they
They're
will
gonna
put
give you
it.
the wrong answer.
They're gonna put it in Google because like that's an easy answer.
Yeah, sometimes they say I don't know. Sometimes they say YouTube. Then you see the refer as Google. So it's like did they hear about SPP on something on YouTube and then literally just wrote SPP on Google? Maybe. Who knows? In the end, I
Yeah.
guess it doesn't really matter anymore, as long as qualified people are coming in.
See, it's not great because like you don't know where to focus your efforts. It's like we
Everywhere.
have to,
That's the problem.
yeah, we have to focus them everywhere, which is like the opposite of focus. That's like
Yeah.
spraying. You know?
Spray and pray. Like it was
Yeah.
Counter-Strike 1.6, the people like just spray and pray, just shoot everywhere.
I don't think that was a valid strategy.
It was a terrible strategy. So yeah. No, but I think it just goes back to what people are now saying, like don't focus just on SEO. You focus on marketing and brand awareness and try to be present where you think your customers would be, which can be online and offline. So I guess just depending on just Google is not going to cut it anymore because Google does not like you very much based on their AI overviews. I don't know with ChatGPT what it's going to do because they're like embedding even their own shopping experience if you've seen that. I mean, for SaaS, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't really influence us. But imagine e-commerce websites when you can now just casually check out from ChatGPT instead of going to the website. So they can't track anything anymore, right?
Hmm. Yeah. I think like remember back in the day, you could do a thin affiliate website and somehow convince Google with just the right keywords that it's legit. And
Mm.
it's like always been going in this direction where you need more and more legit company signals to be a legit company because they really don't like affiliate websites. You know?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
the days of just spam keywords and hope it's gonna work are definitely over. So AI does prefer anyone who's been like in the news, so that's a clear thing.
oh, I've got a rant about PPC advertising because that's another thing. Remember back in the day, you could buy PPC advertising, put on Google display ads, and like make this arbitrage work. Infinite money. Now with this tracking, the companies know exactly how much a lead is worth to you, and they will take 90% of that value easily. So there's like no margin left. I don't know. It's probably like my guess is the big advertisers, they're just operating at a loss just to do brand awareness essentially.
Hmm. Yeah, it's possible. That's the
So
problem when you're like competing against VC funded apps because they are usually burning a lot of that money on ads. So you can just easily just bid on keywords of your competitors and just be on top because you have the money. So even if you rank number one, but there are like six display ads above you, you're not even first page anymore, like somewhere at the bottom. So it's easy pay to win strategy.
on some level, yes, but I think there are a few things money can't buy. It's like money can buy happiness and product market fit. You cannot buy product market fit with money. And I think on some level it's even harder when you are forced to spend a lot of money to get there quicker.
Yeah, I guess their strategy is like get as many customers as possible, tell them features are coming very soon, keep them as happy as possible during development time, and then just throw them breadcrumbs until they are happy enough to not leave. Which, if you have infinite money and lots of people working for you, I guess might make sense. So maybe it's doable.
Yeah, there are all kinds of playbooks. I think like also the sales driven playbook where hire a call center, hire SDRs, BDRs, put everybody on the phone, close deals, that sort of thing. Still works. Not a business I'm very interested in, but it's doable.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I still think it's very difficult to find people at the right time because when we see agencies, sometimes they are too big to switch. Like they have so many processes going on that it's such a hassle to switch. Like it would take them a year or two just to think about it. Like I've talked to someone who said like, I've been following you for like 2 or 3 years. I was like, geez, now they're ready to switch. So it took 2 or 3 years because they always had other things going on. Like you have to serve clients. It's not like we're going to switch to SPP tomorrow and just get up and running. It's like, it's a business decision that involves a
Mhm.
lot of micro steps in between. You have to teach the team everything. You have to change automations to the new tool. All this stuff takes months and months of testing and running. You have to migrate customers. You have to tell them, oh, log in this thing now. Everything will look a little bit different. So definitely not an overnight decision.
And this goes back to attribution. How do you even I sign up 2 years later. I don't even remember where I heard about the tool.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, I think what we're saying is like be everywhere and be different and also be better because sometimes it's easy to be different, but it's hard to be better. And so we gotta focus on the stuff where we're better at and lean into that.
Exactly. Which we're trying to do this year. More stuff coming soon. We can't spill all the beans.
there's there's always more stuff coming soon. That is like our mode of operation. Just more stuff.
Exactly.